The climate crisis is here. Time's slipping away to stop the worst effects of global warming, and we need solutions. Hosted by me, Molly Wood, How We Survive dives deep into the economics, the tech, and the human stories behind those solutions. From billionaires trying to monopolize lithium mines to business rivalries so fierce that one CEO was dragged off a plane by federal authorities. How We Survive, following the money to the end of the world because our survival might depend on it. Listen on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.
There was stories of these girls that would leave his house and they would have to swim out in the lake and get away from them. He has a secret room in his house. He put me in there, she said. I don't want anybody to die anymore. I don't want anybody else to die. I'm looking for Ashley.
Season 3 of Up and Vanished is available right now. Listen for free on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to the Junkies 25th Anniversary Podcast, presented by PenFed Credit Union. Whether you're in uniform or not, you can apply today at penfed.org every week throughout the year. We are revisiting and looking back some of our favorite memories in Junkies history. Podcasts come out after the morning show on Thursdays. And today we go back to December 2009 when I stepped into the professional boxing ring, albeit it was brief. Cakes and Jason were actually there ringside.
We were, yes.
They
correct.
were I don't know who was the color analyst, who was the play-by-play.
Wasn't Larry Michael,
I don't know
was it?
who you split it up, but you guys were doing.
I think Larry was helping with
You
it.
guys were there. EB was actually behind me in my corner. He was like my spit bucket
I'm
guy.
sure Larry was doing the heavy lifting commentary-wise because, hello, he's a professional boxing announcer. He's probably called hundreds of boxing events. Jason and I were just probably like, oh, look at that uppercut.
Well, I think Cakes and I,
that's quite a punch.
didn't we go to the the bar right there near the Patriot
Champs.
Center?
We did the
we
weigh-in
went
at
to
Champs.
Yeah.
You know the cool thing about that thing about Champs, just to rewind. So we had the Turkey Bowl and it was such a success.
Yeah.
We had over 8,000 people. That I went to Jimmy Lang's fight after he came off that TV show, The Contender, and that's where I had my light bulb moment. I was like, I wonder if I can make this happen. And then months later, EB and I did an appearance at Jimmy's Tavern in Herndon. I think it was maybe Jimmy's Old
I
Town
remember that
Tavern.
place.
Yeah.
And Johnny Lang was there, who was Jimmy's
Johnny
dad.
Lang.
And I pitched him the idea. And then to actually make it happen was a success. To actually step into a professional boxing ring, do the ring entrance, do all of that stuff. And you guys were there, and we had thousands of people there. I'll always live with kind of the choke job in the ring. But in reality, if I gave you 7 weeks to train as a professional hockey player, and we found
Couldn't
the
do it.
worst
I would last-
minor league hockey...
I would last one day.
If we found the worst minor league hockey goalie out there, could you beat him?
No, of course not.
And so I think it ended up the right way. But it was exciting to actually make it happen. And at that weigh-in, Angelo Dundee was there.
Was that right?
Angelo
Why
Dundee was there because he was in Jimmy's corner.
That's
right. Like,
because it was a Jimmy Lang fight.
It was crazy. And
It was a huge deal.
going through that, it was pretty crazy just to do like the stare down. I did the stare down with Jay Watts. The sad thing is I had a black eye before that because that week I had in sparring
I
took
remember
a shot.
that. You came in during the show and you had the black eye, and you didn't want anybody to know that you were sparring.
Right.
And you told us you were messing around with your kids or something.
I think I said, yeah, like along the way, because you guys didn't know that I was training.
No idea.
Only Brett and CK did, and I was working on all these things kind of behind the scenes. I had to get licensed. That was shady. I lied, said I boxed in
boxing
college.
world shady? No. Tell me it isn't so.
But I think I said that I took, like, back then, Brett was like doing Krav Maga. I think I made up that I did Krav Maga with him.
That's what you lied to us.
And you guys didn't think about it, and you didn't notice I lost like 15 pounds. Because I weighed in at,
we didn't notice when guys lose 15 pounds.
I weighed in at 156 for the fight, and that was without cutting weight. But anyway, here is actually Cakes and Bishbucks during the fight against Jay Watts.
Here comes Jay Watts, and he's looking to attack again. Left hook, Watts just misses. A right hand misses by Watts. JP trying to get the jab and move, and he's up on his toes. Left hand, Watts right on the button. Now JP fighting back. That's a slip. That's a slip.
They're trading blows right in the center of the ring.
Wait a minute. They're counting a knockdown, but it was clearly a slip. Fourth knockdown of the fight. JP, it's over.
He calls the fight.
You know what? It's probably a good move. JP was knocked down 3 times.
Yes. 3 knockdowns. Looked like he was taking some physical punishment there. May have been a slightly early call by the referee, but you don't want to see JP get hurt.
You don't want to see it.
You certainly don't want to see that.
And JP's legs were wobbly for the first 2.5 minutes of that round.
Right. Fellas, what you learn here is that professional boxing is not a game you can just lightly take and walk into. I mean, JP felt he was very serious coming into this fight, but clearly, even against a fighter with only a 1-8 record, he was no match for the event. He might have done better in a less charged environment, but because of who he is, this was an overwhelming experience.
So there you have it. If I just lasted one more second, EB, then you would have been able to do your job.
I always maintain if you could have just made it back to the
Probably
stool.
were holding the spit bucket ready to go.
Well, no, that you just needed the trainer guy to talk to you and settle you down because you lost all your form, you lost all your technique.
All his composure went out the
The
window.
unfortunate thing,
you just chased the guy around there and he kept knocking you down.
I can look back at a million things. The unfortunate thing is my actual trainer for 7 weeks was Willie Taylor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first got thrown into his gym, and he had no idea I was, Johnny Lang, the manager, he had said, I'm going to find you a trainer. I'm going to find you a trainer. And I gave him an ultimatum. I said, look, if you don't, it was 8 weeks before the fight. I said, if you don't give me a trainer by Monday, I'm out. I'm out. And so he took me to this gym, and Willie Taylor, he wasn't happy. He had a bunch of kids like prospects and kids that he's, a couple of the guys turned pro. And they dumped this, at the time, 36-year-old white guy in the middle of his gym. He was like, he tried to get me out of there. He put me in sparring the second day, and he tried to break me down. He didn't think I was going to show up the next day. And I was this close to not showing up because I remember waking up, spitting blood the next day, which was day 3 of my 7 weeks of training. But
props
we were
to you
able to
for
make
doing
it happen.
Yep.
No, but the other fatal flaw, we haven't talked about it, was you interviewed Sylvester Stallone and you asked an actor what his advice would be, and he told you, hit him first.
Be first and be lethal.
And that was the reason you did it.
And then then you chased him around trying to hit him first instead of just jabbing him, keeping him at bay, get your composure.
Well,
I actually think you could have beaten him.
And what Willie told me, too, is he said, look, you can't train somebody to box in 7 weeks. You just can't. And as bad as Jay Watts was, he had 10 years of experience. That's as a pro. He also had amateur fights, and he was fresh out of prison. I will say we found the perfect guy.
If there was ever going to be a guy
he
you're
had
going to beat,
just
that
got
was
out
the
of
guy.
prison.
What was he in prison for?
Maiming somebody. and he
Some might say he did that to you in the ring too.
Yeah.
And so what I always say to people when they ask me, you're a boxer, right? It's like, no, I boxed for 7 weeks. Show business greater than ring performance. And the show business part was good. We had thousands of people come out.
You don't have to apologize
We made
for
it a big
It worked
event.
out great. But
Great memory for you.
But yeah,
sucks
I
that
will
you lost.
always struggle because I still remember. So right after they called the fight, I don't know if Jason got in the ring. Somebody came in there to interview me, and I just went into like junkies mode, explain what happened. And Jay was breathing his ass off like super hard, and I was not even tired at all because I'd gotten in great shape.
I don't
and
think it
what
was
Willie
me.
told
Great
me
shape.
was
You forgot to learn how to box.
Willie told me, he's like, I couldn't teach you how to box, but I can get you in shape.
Right.
So I got in shape. So it is what it is. So there it is. Every week, of course, we do these look backs during our 25th anniversary podcast. We got to thank PenFed Credit Union. PenFed's got great rates for those in uniform and those who are not. Apply today at PenFed.org to receive any advertised product. You must become a member of PenFed, insured by NCUA.
Keeping up with the flood of news every single day can be quite stressful. There is climate change happening. There's the pandemic, labor movements, Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend. Hi, I am Gideon Resnick, host of Crooked Media's What a Day. Each week, Travell Anderson, Priyanka Arabindi, Josie Duffy Rice, and I are going to break down the biggest news stories of the day in a way that hopefully doesn't always make you want to cry. New episodes of What a Day drop every weekday at 5 a.m. Eastern. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The climate crisis is here. Time's slipping away to stop the worst effects of global warming, and we need solutions. Hosted by me, Molly Wood, How We Survive dives deep into the economics, the tech, and the human stories behind those solutions. From billionaires trying to monopolize lithium mines to business rivalries so fierce that one CEO was dragged off a plane by federal authorities. How We Survive, following the money to the end of the world because our survival might depend on it. Listen on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.
There was stories of these girls that would leave his house and they would have to swim out in the lake and get away from them. He has a secret, like this secret room in his house. He put me in there, she said. I don't want anybody to die anymore. I don't want anybody else to die. I'm looking for Ashley.
Season 3 of Up and Vanished is available right now. Listen for free on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.